Wizards of the Coast is a company that has been in the news lately for all of the wrong reasons. They are responsible for some of the most famous IPs out there, most notably Magic the Gathering as well as Dungeons & Dragons. Most will probably remember last year when they came under fire for the direction they were taking Magic in. In 2021, Wizards of the Coast announced the release of a special edition card set called Anniversary Collection, celebrating the 30th anniversary of the game. This set includes a variety of cards, including some reprints of powerful and sought-after cards from the game's history. However, the set also includes a single card, called the Black Lotus, which has been highly controversial. This card, originally printed in the game's first set, is considered by many players to be one of the most powerful and valuable cards in the game's history. The Anniversary Collection version of the Black Lotus has a printed value of $1,000, which has been met with significant criticism from the Magic community. Critics of the $1,000 price point have argued that it is exorbitant and inaccessible to many players. They also feel that the price point is exploitative, taking advantage of the nostalgia and sentimentality of long-time players for a substantial profit. Additionally, some have raised concerns that the high price of this card could lead to an increase in fraud and forgery in the secondary market for the card, which would be a serious issue for the game and its community. Wizards of the Coast, the publisher of Magic the Gathering, has defended the $1,000 price point, stating that the card is rare and highly sought after and that the high price is a reflection of its value to collectors. They also stated that the set will only be sold in limited quantities and that the profits will be used to support the game and its community. In conclusion, the Magic the Gathering Anniversary Collection has been met with significant criticism from the community for its inclusion of a $1,000 card. While Wizards of the Coast has defended the price point, many players feel that it is exorbitant and inaccessible to them. While the 30th Anniversary Edition is a celebration of the game's rich history and beloved community, this particular aspect of it has raised valid concerns for many players and collectors. With that, here we are again, and this time around it is to talk about their other IP, Dungeons & Dragons, and the new community update that will be happening that could completely ruin the way fans make content for the game. Up until this point, the IP for the game has been completely open source. This is a very common thing to do for game companies and can be viewed as an excellent way to promote your game. Creative people make content for the game online, and other people see it, become fans, and go and buy the game as well. Games like Fortnite and Minecraft literally took over the internet that way, and a very strong argument can be made that Dungeons & Dragons are that popular today due to the community and what they have done with them. All of this can now completely change as Wizards of the Coast have decided that they are not making enough money, and therefore revenue might now be taken from fans who create content around the game. An internal report started making the rounds online where they stated that the game was under-monetized. As you can imagine, this obviously had the whole community concerned. The report stated that they wanted to look for more opportunities to turn the franchise into a recurring spending environment that reaches more fans. It should also be noted that Hasbro, the parent company for Wizard of the Coast, saw a 40% drop in revenue, and as such they are now looking to make money anywhere they can. Wizard of the Coast last year posted that they made $1.3 billion in revenue, and out of that Dungeons & Dragons was only pulling in $150 million in that revenue, despite the fact that it is the most popular IP for the company. Magic the Gathering might make the most money, but no one can deny the cultural impact that Dungeons have had, and thus they are looking to cash in on that now. At its core, there is nothing wrong with them doing that, but it is how they want to do it that is making the community mad. Instead of pushing out more products or updating existing ones, they will instead just go after the revenue of the fans that have helped to build the game and push it into the mainstream. Wizards right now have an open license, and this means that people can freely create content as they please. All of this is now set to change. They have since decided to adjust their license terms of service and now have to accept the new license terms, where you need to let Wizards know exactly how you are making money from the IP. You will now need to report annual revenue if it is more than $50,000 and include a creator product badge on your work. Now I will say that not all of this is entirely bad. If you are selling products related to Dungeons & Dragons such as merch, it is understandable that they might want to keep an eye on that. If you are just creating content around the game and hosting tournaments and monetizing it on Twitch or YouTube, then it is completely unacceptable. Then if you are making more than $750,000 per year, you will have to pay royalties on that amount of up to 25%. Now again, for me personally, it will depend on how you make that money. If you sell merch, I would think that it might be fair. If you are just creating content and monetizing it, I would say that it is not fair at all. That is of course just my own personal opinion. It was also recently revealed by journalist Linda Kodga that the new Open Gaming license is incredibly restrictive, demands community surveillance, and most importantly renders the previous OGL an unauthorized agreement. With this new OGL, there is a number of massive changes coming as the document is over 9,000 words long. One of the most controversial updates in the new agreement is the term that says that they can modify or terminate any agreement for any reason whatsoever with a 30-day notice. This stems from the fact that they feel they are facing too much competition within their own community. So this now means that they can make any changes they want to. If you report your revenue to them, they can eventually decide that the 25% that they currently take from users over $750,000 is no longer enough and take even more or even lower the bar to take from people who earn less. They can also just decide to take everything from you. You might work out a deal with them to sell a certain product that you worked on extremely hard. Although you have an agreement in place, they can decide to just pull the agreement, take your idea and pretty much sell it further while cutting you out of the picture entirely. Overall, the changes are horrific and it can actually completely be a kill shot for the community going forward.